you're working in a space and your salary hasn't grown in 5 years, there's a problem, because I always tell people that if they're going to, yes, loyalty is good, but you be mindful of how you show loyalty to any organization. If they're going to kick you out, they'll kick you out tomorrow. So they'll kick you out tomorrow.
Definitely.
Yes, as much as you want to be loyal, still put yourself first. And so think about it properly. So for me, I'm an advocate for women. I am a proud feminist, but maybe because of the way people have seen feminists, men hating. I'm not a man hating. I love my husband. Before I do anything, I will let my husband know because he's my greatest partner. The most important thing is marry someone who will be your biggest support system. You can fly high. So I say marry somebody who is your friend. Because you not just say sit down when you know you are going to do something important. So it's people that marry their enemies that are making submission look like it's hard. Submission is easy to a man who is a king, who loves you, who wants you to be the best. I remember this GMA, my husband was like, no, you can do it. My husband thinks I can do anything. My husband sometimes says something I'm like, please, don't stop projecting. I don't want to. I want to fly. I want to be taken care, So please, ladies, especially when you are not married, please. I'm telling you that it's better to be single than to be married to a man who doesn't want to see your progress. I'm telling you. I know marriage looks like it's older, but marriage is work. Please marry your friend because that's the greatest support. If you have all the mates in the world and your husband doesn't want you to thrive or prosper, you'll be frustrated.
Hello, welcome to another exciting episode of the Facts and Opinions podcast with your favorite duo, Oluwa Victor and Arapinrin Ramat. I am very sure that you enjoyed the last episode of this podcast, and yes, we've promised you that this second season 2, we are ready to give you back to back. Tori Pekini, it can only be Facts and Opinion podcast now. You know now how we used to do it after we have go on the streets to seek your opinions and all. So, we are going to bring them on board to come and state the facts of your own opinions. Welcome once again. And if you have not followed us on all social media platforms, please do well to follow us on all social media platforms. On Instagram, on X, on Facebook, on TikTok, and subscribe to our YouTube channel at Victor Ramat Podcast. Yes, so that you can view all our previous episodes from A to Z. And today I am trying to clear my throat because we have another amazing, excellent guest with us in our studio. The major reason I am happy is that our guest is a she. Is a she. So Victor will not be like Rama Susek Beleni. No, me Susek Beleni. No, Uloma Susek Beleni. Abi now.
Yeah. I'm actually excited to have her on the show today because normally she's my model since. Aww. When I was coming to Ibadan newly, I actually didn't plan to come to Ibadan. I wanted to serve in Lagos, okay. So I was posted to Anambra. So I was liking the place, but then it got to a point when all these do's and don'ts, and I know I will break the rules. So I was like, okay, let me just leave this place so that hey, you get. So then I called someone. Then I was advised to apply for relocation. So I applied to Lagos, but it was not possible. So I was sent to Ibadan. So when I was coming to Ibadan, I did my research. I said, okay, I'm a mass communication graduate, and I love communication very well right from school. Because, when I was in school, I was so active when it comes to debates. Let's do this, let's do that. I'm always up ahead. So now, when I was coming to Ibadan, I tried doing research and I saw her. I saw her on the internet. I was like, wait, yes, I saw her on the internet. So I was trying to. So me, I like to, whatever I'm doing, I like to look at some people that are way ahead. I like to model after them. So I saw somebody who also came as a core member to Ibadan, and then getting to Ibadan, she developed herself and became a voice in Ibadan.
Household name.
A big name in Ibadan. So I felt like, I have to meet this person. So I messaged someone, I would like to serve in this so establishment because of her. But it was so unfortunate that when I got to Ibadan, it didn't work out. So I didn't get the chance to meet her during my service. And then after the service, I had it in mind that I'm going to meet her. Whatever it takes. Finally, we are here. We are here today. I can't believe I'm hosting my mother and I'm going to be asking her questions.
I'm just blushing already.
My head is swelling.
So excited to have you here.
Thank
Mama.
you. Oh my goodness. Wow. Thank
A
you.
standing ovation for the house of the broadcast media. Ronke Giwa Onofuwa.
Ronke Giwa.
She calls her name for me.
Yeah.
I used to follow her videos right from time. She has always been there. And you know, when people come into the broadcasting world and you're trying to look up to somebody, Ronke Giwa Onofuwa is one of the names.
It's a popular name in Ibadan. Yeah.
You must just look up to. Either you want to communicate on radio or TV with Yoruba language or English language, Ronke Giwa is always there. You're welcome on board, ma'am.
Thank you. Oh my goodness. Wow. My head at this point, I'm not sure if I'm going to be able to leave this space. But thank you so much. I feel very honored. Thank you so much for having me on this throne.
Thank you so much for coming, ma'am.
Thank you.
Yes, we've been talking about the name Ronke Giwa Onofuwa. It's except if you are new in the broadcasting world, except if you are new in Southwest, except if you are new in Oyo State, in Ibadan. That is the only reason you will not know who Ronke Giwa Onofuwa is. Broadcast journey. How did the journey start?
Wow, interesting. I mean, I've answered this question so often, but still, every time someone asks me, I'm still always like, it's been what, like 16 years now? Wow. But yes, I would say it started from when I was little, to be honest. Even though when I was little, it wasn't popular to say you want to be a broadcaster, you want to be on TV or radio. Because your parents will look at you as if, you know, because back in the days, women that were on TV or radio were the rebellious women, the people who were not married or, you know, just had a label that was just not very positive. You know, but if my mom had looked at it now, she thinks about it. When we have guests, I take tippers. I'm the one that's anchoring invisible shows. You know, I was always just, you know, out there, always trying to coordinate, you know, and stuff like speak publicly. I was always trying to speak publicly, you know, so I would say that's where it started from. But I would say officially it started from when I moved back home, just like you as well. I came home to serve. So they posted me to Oyo State. And they had posted me to the Polytechnic Ibadan, but they rejected me. For me, I just wanted to serve in this city and just go back to Lagos because Ibadan was like, If you moved to Ibadan 16 years ago, you know that Ibadan is not what it is now. It's developed a lot, you know. So that day I was like, no cinema, nothing in this city, you know. So, but, you know, so someone now directed me to Splash at the time. Was Splash FM was about a year old, was a new radio station. And because on camp, every time someone heard my voice, people would just say, you have a nice voice. Just like that. So I remember on camp, they had said, go and lead. You know, every platoon kind of leads. They send someone to represent and lead like the morning devotion or something. So they had said, I had to represent my platoon. It was platoon 9 platoon then at the time. So I led and everyone was like, you have such a nice voice. So when they rejected me, my coordinator at the time, you know, and I'm still in touch with him, great man, you know. So I told him that they rejected me at the Polytechnic and he said, you know, you have to find somewhere else. So there's one new radio station there. You have a nice voice. Go there and try. So I came to Ibadan, I went to the streets, I asked, and there was this guy that was just there, you know, watching me say, I'm looking for Splash FM. I was like an IJGB at the time. I'm looking for Splash FM. And he said, okay, I'll take you, jump on a bike. And he took me to Splash FM. And literally, that's how I served there. And of course, the rest they say is history. So and I served there. Yeah, I served there for about 14 years at Splash. Yes.
Wow.
Yes, I worked at Splash for 14 years.
For 14 years.
Yes. Yep.
That's a long year.
That's a long time.
You love the environment or because
great question.
One kind of good relationship between you and the owner of the station?
Well, both. I would say both because I remember when I was serving and at the time, you know, I was just walking by and I saw the owner, Chief Adebayo Akondi. He always still be a father to me. I just, you know, and he's one of those owners that they want to know everybody. To the cleaner, he wants to know everybody, he wants to talk with everybody. He doesn't believe in some hierarchy that, you know, don't bottleneck, that people are not supposed to come to him. And I like that, you know. So he looked at me and said, Copper, what's your name? And I spoke to him so confidently. He would always invite me to his office, share his dreams with me. Now he has a university. But I remember he shared that dream with me when I was still in the Copper, about how he wants to have a university, but a university without walls, where people can actually study. I remember those things. So I started talking to him. And, by that time, broadcasters were paid really badly. When I came in, and I used to tell him, my father would definitely not let me work here. I mean, it never, at the time, I think even as a copper, Splash was one of they were paying us 20,000 at the time.
As a call member?
As a call member,
Yeah.
yes. They're paying me 20,000 at the time. That's not what they're paying.
Like 16 years ago.
Yes. Splash was still, yes, exactly. Splash was still yes, but with all their staff, I think they're paying maybe like, let me not say, but it was bad. It was not as bad as 20K, but it was not, So I remember telling him, no way, my dad's not going to let me work here. Because my dad had even introduced me to Asiwaju Bola Tinubu, and I was going to work at TVC when I finished. I'd already, met him. He had already even given me a letter to work at TVC. But as I worked at Splash, for me, I just liked the environment. I liked that, the owner was someone who was approachable. And at the time as well, I just felt like Lagos is a big space. Ibadan is a better space to make your mistakes and learn. I was a new person. I was a greenhorn. So for me, I felt like, okay, you know what? I would stay. But I remember when I finished, I told my chairman that, for this money you're paying people, I cannot, I need a car, I need this. And, for me, he just said, don't worry. I remember he spoke to my parents. He said that because my parents are like, no, Ibadan, she can't stay there. But he spoke to them and he said, don't worry, that she's going to be well taken care of. Because he felt like I was a bright and brilliant person that could also add value. Because I remember he used to tell me that, you remind me of Becky Anderson on CNN. That, the way you talk, that he feels like he used to say, I'm going to make you a star. He used to say that, I'm going to make you a star. And so for me, I felt like this is somewhere where I was loved, I was accepted. And Splash and German still to today, they don't owe salaries. They've never owed me salaries. And I just felt like it was a place that allowed me to grow. And it really did. So that was the reason why I stayed, because I felt like it was a place where I could grow. And the chairman was also someone that just became, a father to me as well.
During this year, were there not other stations like, we know how it happens?
Oh, yes, they're trying to,
coaching here and there.
Yes.
Were there not stations that came to,
There were.
Yeah.
And there's over time, how we, as broadcasters, we say there's this transfer window. Every time it's just now that as a broadcaster, I don't follow transfer window because you enter trouble. But at that time, the stations they are still some of the top 5, they were paying stations. There were stations that, but for me, it wasn't that I was ever afraid of not getting paid. It's now that broadcasters can be afraid that if you are living in a cushy place where they are paying you and someone offers you double, be wary. Don't just go because they're offering you double. Be ensure that they're not going to owe you after 2 months. But at that time, there was no fear. But stations were coming to me. But for me, I just felt like, this was a place that was safe. And so I just felt like, no, at that time, I said if I was going to leave Splash, I was going to leave Ibadan. That's because I was not married, so I felt like exactly, because then I got married, had children, and so my family is here, but it's a story of me leaving, is a different one. But by that time, I didn't feel like there were stations that approached me with juicy deals. But for me, I guess I just had, because some of those stations, 2 of them, okay, 2 are still doing okay, are still doing great, but one of them, they're no longer there, So, but that time, I just felt like, no, this is a station that's giving me a lot. I need to also give them my loyalty. And I just felt like at the time I still had a lot of growing to do. I still felt like I still had a place to grow in Splash. It was when I felt like there was no place for me to grow, was when I had to leave. But at that time I felt like, no, I'm great here. I have a great, work family. I still had a lot of growing to do. So as juicy as the deals were, there was no question I was not going to take them.
Well, coming from the side of reality, there are some private organizations that work with them, and you decide to just leave and change environment.
Yes.
They tend to see you as their
disloyal.
enemy.
Oh my goodness.
Or like they're not loyal.
Yes, and that's wrong.
What does something like that happen?
When I eventually leave, or when I was trying to leave. Yeah, because I remember there was a time there was a station that actually approached me, and I went to my boss because the amount they gave me, because at that time I looked at my salary. And I felt like my salary had not really grown in maybe like 4 or 5 years. You're working in a space and your salary hasn't grown in 5 years. There's a problem. So I went to my boss and I said, these people are offering me, this, maybe like 200K more on my salary. And I said, you know what? I think that this stage in my career, I've grown to a level where I think that I should. And there was also a time where there was fair subsidy. I remember some stations were cutting salaries at the time. So I understood that, people were going through a lot. But at that time, I felt like we're doing well as a station. So I went to my boss at the time, my CEO, she was COO. And I said, you know what, I think that, and my chairman, I said, I think I deserve a pay rise at this time. This station has approached me and they're offering me this. And, for me, it's juicy. And I know you guys have done me well, but as I have to think about myself as well, because I always tell people that if they're going to, yes, loyalty is good, but you be mindful of how you show loyalty to any organization. If they're going to kick you out, they'll kick you out tomorrow. So they'll kick you out tomorrow.
Definitely.
Yes, as much as you want to be loyal, still put yourself first. And so think about it properly. So I went to them and, they increased my salary and matched how much that station was going to give me. Yes, so that's a good organization where they value you. They are mindful of you, and they could have said, just go. But they felt like I was valuable and they increased my salary at the time. So for me, I felt like, I was wanted here. So when it comes to loyalty, I don't like when stations, because people will come and people will go. Even if your father owns the company, you could decide that that's not what you want to do. So when someone expects loyalty that I'm not able to move forward in my life because, I must stick to you. If you're going to kick me out, you kick me out tomorrow. So I'll say be mindful of people who treat other people like enemies just because they exit their stations. It's wrong. And I see stations doing it all the time. When someone, resigns and they say, I'll give them 1 month notice, they'll just say, okay, start leaving today. I see it happen a lot in stations where once you give your resignation and you give a notice, they won't allow you to serve your notice. They rather pay you off and say, and then everybody will start seeing you like, but today I go to Splash. I go to my chairman. I go there and everybody hugs me. And I'm like, and I still have that rapport. When I gave my notice, which is not something that happens often, they allowed me to serve my 1 month notice. So I guess it's also because of the value that they've been able to build over the years. Because I know most stations do that, where you serve a notice and they won't allow you. They'll just say, just go today. But I was able to serve 1 month. I was able to, because at the time I had grown to be manager, digital media manager. I was able to, let everybody settle whoever was going to take my space, my spot. Because we're not enemies. We're not enemies just because I'm leaving your organization. So I don't like it when people, just, demonize someone just because they're going. You, as a person, you must put yourself first because your employer too is putting himself first.
So speaking about loyalty, so I tell people something that most of the time, most of these radio CEOs in Ibadan, they love loyalty of their staff to the point that they really don't understand which is genuine loyalty or which is not.
Exactly.
So, and I tell people that, especially when you're a rich man, that you should not trust the loyalty of a poor man, because the loyalty of a poor man is just because of his benefits.
Exactly.
The moment there's no benefits, that loyalty is gone. So most of the time when people leave stations, so most of the time, I think what I figured out was it is not on the part of the radio. Right. Sometimes on the people that are leaving. Because I have seen so many people leave a radio to another place, and then the next thing you are hearing is they are saying bad things about the radio.
I have seen that.
They are trying to tarnish the image of that radio. They are trying to spread false rumors about the radio. And most of the time, this happens because of the hots they also felt when they were there. So now my question is this: you had an experience of 16 years with Splash FM.
13.
Were there 14 years? Where there would definitely be times when you were hurt by the station. How did you manage all these moments with them? And that you left, and there was nothing like you going about doing all of these things, doing bad PR for Splash or anything. How were you able to manage in your 14 years of work with them? How were you able to manage that 14 years without? Definitely, you were hot.
Yes,
sometimes.
Absolutely.
So, how did you manage it?
Yes. Because I remember when I was leaving too, the thing that kind of pushed me to, because I'd been feeling like I should leave, but what really pushed me to leave was a little hurt that I don't think I've even told anybody about it, and I'm not going to get into details. but the honest truth is, maybe because Splash is a structured environment, and I love Splash for that. They built a structure where, so one person cannot, and that's why I see with a lot of radio stations, one person, if there's no structure in place, you are going to hurt people a lot. So Splash had a structure, because I remember there was one time when, a particular, colleague, had hurt me because I guess they felt, because the thing is, oftentimes with me, because I've been in the industry for such a long time, and people see me as, the queen of, and I don't even like that, because there's nobody I'm not friendly with in the industry. But people like to, especially with the women, people like to make us enemies and say, this was the queen of, this is the, but I don't know anybody saying this is the king. So they, oftentimes when they want to hire a new lady, they give the lady an idea that you are here to dethrone me. And you can tell from exactly, yes, they want to make that person your competition. So the way I don't know what they tell the person, because you can tell the way the person comes on board, it just feels as if, oh, we are competitors. And no, we're not competitors. We're here to all collect salary at the end of the day. You collect your salary, I'll collect. Exactly. And to be honest, I just feel like nobody can compete with me. It's not because I'm being arrogant, but because it's the way I do my things. It's the way I am. I'm not trying to act, I'm not, trying to, this is who I am. So trying to compete with someone who's on an original of something is going to be hard for you, So I've seen a lot of people in that organization come and go feeling as if, they're here to compete. And I'm like, no, we're not, so we're not here to compete. So for me, the way I've handled hurt is, thankfully, there's a structure, like I said. So even when someone hurts you, you take it through the right channels. A lot of organizations don't have maybe HR, and that's why it's important to have HR, human resource, who are able to manage, the people in the organization. So when I'm hurt from me, I just always also think about it that people will always be people. I've not been deeply hurt to the point where I don't think even me saying that, the hurt that sort of pushed me to go. It wasn't something that I'm still even carrying. It's something that maybe I just realized that, when you just realize that, I don't know how to say it without going into details.
Don't worry,
am I safe?
Yeah,
no, I guess when you just realize that, the more you spend in a station, I don't know how to say it, the more time you spend in a station, it's like see finish.
Yeah.
Familiarity.
Yeah.
So, and even you yourself, if you're not mindful, and that's one of the things I do, I always try and evolve and re-evolve, because when you're in a station for a long time, see finish happens in a way that, I don't know how to explain it, but I started feeling that I was not. I don't know how to explain it.
They were trying to relegate you.
Yes, kind of relegate you in a way that I don't want to. I'm trying to articulate it, but not relegate me, because it's hard to relegate me.
Definitely.
If I'm a place, yes, like we're trying to find some. You're not interesting anymore. I kept getting that sense that you're not interesting anymore, and stuff like that. Yes, exactly. And so I had to also, because to be honest, if I'm not interesting anymore, I'd rather even leave than stay here. I could have been, being stubborn and just say, I'm going to stay here. They're paying me, so they're not owing me. But shame will come. Shame. I started telling myself that, look, if you don't leave here, you will be put to shame. I just kept getting that sense that if you don't leave here, you'll be put to shame. And also, I felt like I also wanted to get to a space in my career where I would get to, which is where I am, more manage people and mentor people, and I was not able to do that at the time. So for me, I'm trying to answer a question about hurt. The way I manage hurt is to just see that people will always be people. Okay. And then I always think about when people act a certain way, it's more a function of them than me. I don't internalize your issues. I don't let you project your issues on me. So for me, the hurtful things that happened, but it was kind of more like a catalyst for me leaving. It was not the reason I left, but it was more what I just realized that, you know what? If I feel like I've expired here, it's better I go than for shame to happen. It's better you go, So I had a great relationship with my chairman, and I still do. Like I said, there was a time where I felt like a senior colleague was trying to push me to a side. And I remember then, this is not something, but I remember then I just said, let me just resign. I resigned, but my chairman was like, no, you can't. Why? And then he settled that situation in-house. Because for me, I feel like, because there are some people who are in certain organizations, and that they're just looking for a way to fire you. But you, because you think they haven't fired you yet, you'd rather stay there. For me, I'd rather leave. If I don't feel wanted, or if I don't feel, appreciated in this space, I'd rather leave, for my own good. Because number one, I don't like shame. Number one, I don't like embarrassment. And number two, I'd rather go where I am appreciated. Definitely. And I think that's what I did. I just went because I started feeling like, I feel like I've expired in this space. I need to leave.
You used up your time.
Yeah. Now, moving from being just a radio girl, like we all know Ronke Giwa, to being a radio girl plus TV girl. I know. Now, not just even being a TV girl. Now, the general manager of a TV.
Send help.
Before we move to your journey from Splash to Dominion Broadcast,
you jump vintage. Come on.
Yeah. So you jump a particular. So there's vintage before Dominion's broadcast. I remember we had a conversation some times ago, and a respectful broadcaster like somebody who has been in broadcasting for a long time. And I think you said you were a guest on the show, and you guys were having a conversation about radio owners in Ibadan and all of that. You had made up your mind that you were not coming back to the radio. So, but somehow, you were convinced to come back.
I'm telling you, I don't know. Dr. Femi, I didn't feel like, I don't know how you did it. We're on the show together, you know, on Almond, you know, and I was just, because that day I was even just talking about how radio owners and sort of look kind of like the proliferation of radio stations and how there's so many and kind of some of the things that radio owners need to know. And Dr. Adefila from there, he just headhunted me, you know. So I decided I was never going to go back on, you know, to radio. I didn't start planning moving my family to Lagos. It's odd, you know, but here I am.
You're back.
Yeah.
So now your movement from Splash to Vintage.
Yeah.
You got to Vintage and you know, it was popular on the internet. Ronke Giwa is now the general manager of Vintage FM. Before you became the general manager, there was one general manager, but we're not going into that story. So, but then you became the general manager, and immediately I saw that post and I saw that you became the general manager. I was happy because now this is somebody who is experienced and somebody who is more professional in broadcasting and with a vast, you know, amount of years in the industry. So I felt Vintage is going to, you know, because I remember I started following up Vintage on social media because of you. I see some of your posts. I see the way you engage the staff. I see the way you try to carry everybody along in the organization. So now your experience at Vintage, because when you were leaving Vintage, you dropped an encrypted message on your social media.
I was later deleted.
Yeah, it was deleted. Probably, you know, some people.
Maybe I think you have a rethink of the content of
what happened? What happened with Vintage FM?
Well, what happened with Vintage?
Yes.
Oh my goodness. Well, Vintage was an experience that I needed that's helping me thrive where I am today. I always feel like there's nothing that's a failure. There should be no regrets because whatever it is you do, you go through, it's, you know, it's equipping you and empowering you for where you are supposed to be. You know, so for Vintage now, I mean, I'll never badmouth the owner because I feel like she was acting in her own capacity and as much, that was the best she could do. But with Vintage, I went in, you know, because after Splash, I actually said I was not going to be on radio for a year. I wanted to focus on writing my books. You know, I wrote a book during that time, a children's book. I wanted to focus on just emceeing and doing a lot of speaking. I wanted to also mentor people. So I started my mentorship, you know, virtual mentorship workshop, which was really nice. You know, so just like with Vintage as well, someone just called me and said, oh, you know, they need me to come. Vintage, I'm like, no, because I'd heard quite a bit of the drama that happened at Vintage, but not enough, to be honest. Because I think if I'd heard enough of the drama that had happened at Vintage, I probably would not have taken on, you know, that job. But for me, I'm also very stubborn. When I'm the kind of person, if I see a bad situation, I don't know what it is. I always just feel like I can turn it around. Yeah. I have that much confidence in myself. I always feel like I can turn things around. Exactly, you know. Sometimes I accept myself. But, you know, so as someone had said, you know, so I met with the owner and we sat down. I didn't even know that she was going to offer me the role of GM, funny enough. But I just thought, okay, you know what, maybe I'll just have one show. Because at that time, I was also started missing radio, to be honest. I'd been off radio for about 3 months. Just 3 months. And I already started feeling like, my goodness. I'd be listening to radio and I'd be like, oh, gosh. I wish, or something would happen in the country. And I wish I had a radio show so I could share my opinion about this. So I started missing radio. But I think I really got emotional. And my missing radio was what made me really take on that role. Because like I said, I thought, okay, let me just take on a show. Yeah, but when I met with her, you know, she told me a lot of things that were happening from her own point of view. It was really sad because from her point of view, she had trusted a friend. The friend had, you know, done this and that is a story to tell. But I think it was out there what really happened. You know, so she had gone to the place where she was tired. She was fed up. And for me also, I felt like, this is a lady. It's the first lady radio, you know, media owner. CEO. So I also felt for her because I felt like, okay, you know, I'd like to, you know, help her. That was my mindset, you know. So when they now offered me GM, I was thinking, you know what, this is big. Because GM is not just about you know, presenting. I love presenting. I love doing that. But GM is literally overall. Generator is on you. Salary is on you. Making money. You're the chief marketer. You're the chief everything. You're the chief. You're really everything. So I really went with the mindset of, trying to help this lady. You know, but when I got on board, it was when I realized that, you know, when you look at the Titanic and you're like, such a nice boat. Okay, it's not bad. It's not bad. But then you enter and you see like the Titanic is sinking.
In real life.
In real life, it was a real life Titanic. that was sinking. So when I went on board, it's like renting a house. You come to this house and you know how realtors are. Yes. Oh, this house is nice. They'll show you. That's kind of what. Even though I knew the house was not perfect, but when I imagine now getting to the house, you now realize there's no toilet, there's no drainage. When it rains, it leaks. So I'd already entered. So I felt, okay, Ronke, you have entered this. And so for me, my strategy really always is, let's start with visibility. We're not making money and everything. So I felt like, and then they had gone through a lot of bad press. So my strategy was, okay, let's change. I also knew that my brand is a good brand. If my brand associates with your brand, the impact is that people start to see you. If Ronke Giwa is here, which a lot of people, which happened even with Vintage, with all that they went through. So I did a lot of visibility work, did a lot of, we organized a lot of stuff to just get Vintage in good light. And I think we got to that point, but the sad thing is, I don't know. It's like once you are leading volunteers and not workers, because that's what happens when you are leading people that are not getting paid. There's not really much you can do. You are leading volunteers.
So staff were not getting paid, and
sadly,
wow.
Staff had stopped getting paid. Yeah. Even I was not getting paid. But
you were not getting paid too.
Yes, I was not
as a GM.
Yes. Yeah.
Where the staff will also understand that even our GM is not getting paid.
They didn't know that. They probably thought I was, but for me, I'm always an open boss. I'll let you know. And the thing was at that time, sadly, I was always saying, what do you say to a staff who says I can't come to work tomorrow because I don't have transport fare? Then I started using my personal funds to fund my staff so that we could, stay on air, And I'm not saying this to mock, because I know it's tough. It's tough to own and that's what I'm hoping that people are telling the next person who's about to go and get a radio license, because they give them radio license as if, it's tough. Yes, a karambit, So I'm not saying this to mock them. I'm saying this because this is my truth. And I know that it's tough. I know that the owner went through a lot, but unfortunately, a lot of media owners don't do enough feasibility studies. A lot of media owners are not told that, the first 5 years of running a radio station, you should not be, get your money ready to be able to keep salaries going. Because the moment you stop paying salaries, morale will drop. Everything just stops, First of all, maybe generator will not come on because there's no fuel. And once you start going off air, that's the beginning of the end. It's the beginning of the end. So whatever you can as media owners, like I said, I'm not mocking anybody, because one day I will want to own my establishment tomorrow. Every business goes through its own gestational period, goes through its own teething period. And unfortunately, that's where a lot of businesses die, that teething period. When you can overcome that teething period, you will. Because Splash FM too, we went through a lot. I remember, even though I joined them after a year, I remember there were times when lightning struck something on the mast and we're off air for a while. I remember, even though they had never OSA, but I remember when there was salary cuts at Splash. They cut our salaries, but because they treated us well, none of us went out to come and say, no, they cut our salaries. So I remember those times at Splash too. Splash went through its own time before, and then Splash was also lucky because it was maybe the first private radio station. So we enjoyed a lot, and they're still enjoying that benefit of being the first. But radio stations that are coming in now, it's not easy at all. So I'm not saying what happened at Vintage to try and mock anybody. I really do empathize. Now in hindsight, I'm thinking, it's not easy at all, because I'm still GM of another media house, and I'm seeing some of the tough realities of it. But my truth is that once, as a radio owner or as a media owner, once you stop paying salaries, unfortunately, it's the beginning of the end. Once you start delegating marketing to your OAPs, it's the beginning of the end. Once you don't have the money set aside to make sure diesel, petrol, and that we are on air, it's unfortunately the beginning of the end. And unfortunately, that's what happened at Vintage at the time. And for me, I just felt like, no, I've been in my career for about 14 years. And I just felt like, no, this is not what I want to be dealing with at this time of my life. And I was also privileged that I had my side hustles that could keep me. So it wasn't something that it was do or die. I could stay there. So for me, I empathized with her, but I needed to jump ship at the time. Also, because I also felt like the owners were not helping. I'm here trying to help situations. You're here trying to call my staff and trying to tell them, oh, what's this, what's that? Let's work on this problem as a team. But the team already at that time was already fragmented. And I just felt like, no, it was not. So it was a very tough 7 months there. But I would say, because sometimes I hear that the owner says I didn't do anything, but people will.
Yeah, that's actually the gossip on the streets that
she didn't do anything.
You didn't do anything.
Yeah, but go and ask anybody who worked with me. Come on. I think if you have like an award for
best,
best boss ever, some of my people still say it till today. working with me, because I'm a good team player. That's one thing about me. I'm a team player. So my staff at the time, they know at times they couldn't come to work. I'm not saying this because to toot my own horn. The time they couldn't come to work, I know what I would do to ensure. I know what I did to ensure that we're on air when, you'll be calling that, oh, this is about to finish, and I'll have to, step in, and stuff like that, So it's unfortunately what it is. Anybody can say whatever they like, but the people who know the kind of, work I put into, the May radio station at the time. So I don't need to prove myself to anybody. I think my work speaks for itself.
So after the 7 months, was when the offer of...
No, after the 7 months, I went back to my house. I went back to my office. And I had an office at the time in my dining room. So even before I went to Vintage, I remember I'd said, okay, leaving Splash, I didn't want to just relax. I wanted to take my own business seriously. So I remember, designing a space in my dining table for work. Once I'd gotten the children ready, once they've gone, I take my bath, I sit down. I used to sit down and watch YouTube videos, to sit down and watch videos on how to be a better manager. That's what I did before Vintage. So even after that, I went back to my office, started watching YouTube videos, started reading books, started, creating content for myself. So I was my own business. I was the brand. So I handled myself as a brand. I didn't go and start sitting down watching Netflix. No, I was up night. I was literally doing a 9 to 5 in my own house. I remember my housekeeper would say, madam, they sleep. They want. I say, they sleep. So if I'm in my office, will I be sleeping? This is my office. So she used to just be intrigued that I'll wake up, get the children ready. Once they've gone, I take my bath. I sit down in my office in front of my laptop and I work. And I was getting it, and I was doing well. I mean, it was mean that I was doing Lagos Leather Fair, where I paid well to host events. So I'm paid well, more than I was paid monthly at Splash. So if I'm getting that, I just felt, let me just focus on this. So I went back to my until, Uncle Nyanju Adegbite called me and said, they're having their 1 year anniversary. They want to do, a debate on air. And I said, oh, Uncle Nyanju, anything for you. And I went, and even though, Dr. Adefila had said he wanted me to act, I said no. Immediately no, sir. So what I actually told him is that I'd consult. I know I'm great at branding. I know I'm great, at developing a team. I was the one that did the recruitment of Dominion. But at the time when I recruited everybody, I had not agreed to work. Yes. I just said I'll do the branding. I'll work on everything, social media and everything. I'll work on recruiting, and I'll just say bye-bye. But also working with Dr. Femi Adefila was such a joy, because I like a boss that, just allows you, to knows your strength, allows you to do the work. And so I just enjoyed working with him. So when I agreed only because I was going to be working with him, and he's such a great boss.
Wow.
So yeah, that's the only reason I agreed.
Now, back to my question.
Yeah.
Now, handling TV.
Yes.
I don't think you
never.
have any experience about it.
And they've insulted me with it,
so many times.
But it's okay. Like I said, how I said that I like taking on tough situations, because I feel like I'm a tough person, and I feel like, if I see a tough situation, it's a challenge for me. I feel like we're all rubber bands. If you don't handle tough situations, people don't like tough things. They like things to be solved. But if you don't stretch a rubber band, you will never stretch.
Definitely.
If you don't stretch yourself, you will never stretch. And that's one of the major reasons I left Splash. Because I was feeling, I'm just collecting salary. I'm just coming to do. At that time, also Yoruba content had overtaken English content. So Splash, that was supposed to be like I think 50-50 English Yoruba, had become 70. No, I think they're 60-40 now. Or maybe 65-40. There's still a little English. But so I realized that a lot of my show had been cut to maybe like 1 hour. To accommodate more Yoruba program, which is great. If you're in a managerial position is when because I was in managerial position in Splash, and we're looking at the MPS and we're seeing that, hey, look, this is Ibadan. People appreciate Yoruba programs more. So I was not part of those who say, oh, why are you cutting my show? I was happy for them to cut my show because I wanted the station to succeed. Even at the time we had also started Lagelu because to accommodate more of you. But we realized that, look, as a station, if you're doing 50-50 English, sorry, in Ibadan, sorry for you. Definitely. And, I had enough managerial skills to know that that's what was needed if you want to make money. So Splash had accommodated more Yoruba content. And so my show had been cut to, I think, maybe 2 hours, 3 days a week. I was working 3 days a week. And Splash is still one of the highest paying stations. Yes, still one of the highest paying stations.
Yeah, you said one of the highest. You didn't say the highest.
Splash is still. I think I can take that to bank. Splash is still the highest paying station.
No. One of the highest.
One of the highest.
Yeah.
Who's the highest paid? Who's the highest paid broadcaster in
Dominion
Ibadan?
broadcast.
Let's put it.
We're still a baby. Come on, no. We're still a baby at Dominion. You'll be naive of it. No, we're still a baby at Dominion, and we paid our staff well, but not well enough. When we start making money, we can pay well. We're realistic as a station at Dominion, and that's one of the things I told my staff. We're going to be realistic. We're not going to over promise you and then under deliver, which a lot of stations did. Even stations that approached me. And when I left a Splash and the news came out, I got like 5 radio owners call me, and a lot of them over promise. And that's why you must be careful as a broadcaster. They say they can pay you 500K, they can pay you 400K, they can pay you 200K. But Dominion, we're very realistic.
Now, even after 2 months of starting work at
Dominion, yes.
There were rumors on the street that any cut salary.
Never.
Cut
Dominion, never. We have not cut salary. We've been on for 6 months. We have not owed salary, and by God's grace, we will not. We have never cut salary.
I actually like the kind of synergy between staffs and management in Dominion, because I follow you on Instagram, and I see the way.
I have a great. Oh my goodness! I say it all the time.
I told people, or I've always been telling people that any media house or any media organization that Ronke Giwa is working with, you will definitely enjoy the synergy of staff working with the. Because basically you were once a staff.
Yes.
So you understand what it means to be a staff.
Absolutely, yes.
Before becoming growing into a managerial position.
Absolutely.
So you understand. So you know how to relate with your staff.
True.
But some of these radio owners and some of these GMs, the moment they become the GM, they see GM becoming a GM as being a small god. So they don't see it as a responsibility to be.
Oh my goodness.
That's your window of becoming very close to your staff. There were things you complained about when you were just a staff. Now you become a GM. Then you have to realize that these things are things that you should improvise on. But most of them, I've seen that a lot in Ibadan. Most of them become demigod.
No, I mean, and it's true because I remember one of the things that the owner of Vintage told me at the time, and these are things that people propagate, and it's so wrong. People will say, don't pay OAPs well. They're using your platform to make money for them.
Exactly.
And I'm like,
giving your platform.
I don't understand.
It's a platform.
Excuse you?
I think they are doing you a favor. They're giving you platform. So it's not like they're doing you a favor.
And it's so wrong because when she told me that it was somebody that told her that, I'm like, let me see the somebody first. But Chief Akonde will never tell you that. And that's the thing. Already owners, if you're coming to the industry, take advice from successes. Unfortunately, you don't take advice from people who have failed. So it's people that failed that will come and tell you, don't pay them well, they're giving them a platform. It's wrong. I'm not saying pay everybody. At Dominion, that's why I say, we're not paying them what I would love. I tell my staff, because like I said, I have a great team at Dominion. And so sometimes when they say, we want to be able to do more, and so, I'm like, trust me, I'll be able to pay you more. I've been a staff, like you said, I've worked as an OAP before, and so I know what it takes to run a program. That is not just already owners thing, you just come and talk. How the tabs in my head, how I don't sleep because I'm thinking about my show the next day, how I research, how I'm ensuring that I'm living for the next day's show. Who's going to pay for that? Who's going to pay for the time I'm researching online when I'm not on air? But you think because I'm doing a 1-hour show, that's all I do for you?
And even radio stations that don't even care about, making their staffs evolve.
Yes, exactly. Training. Yes.
A lot of radio stations these days don't invest in their staff. So now, one of the things I saw on your social media page is how you try and invest in your staff. How you try and do some trainings for them.
Oh yes.
And the way you have meetings with them, and so sometimes some radio stations also do this, but they don't post it. But you do it and you show it off. And one thing I loved about your station is, or the new stations you work with, is the way you have realized that there is one person cannot make a convoy.
Absolutely.
So there is a need for you and you come together and let us make this thing work.
So true.
You've also realized that it is not easy to just get into Ibadan and start making money.
Yes.
And then you're ready to go through all of these things, and you've also made your staff realize all of these things.
Yes.
Now, there's something that is very regular in Ibadan. You hear OAPs now saying something like, talent no matter. To buy law school, doesn't matter. You studied mass communication, doesn't matter.
Yes.
Talent, no matter. So you who are not a product of communication. And then so basically, when I was in school, I realized also that most of people that work on the radio or work with the media are not product of mass communication, because most of them are just either they are electronics, electrical engineering, or they are into performing arts or what have you. So now, but the situation in Ibadan is talent is
is now
overtaking.
Talent. So radio owners will go for who has talent, not who is educated. So you now see people come on air and show off their ignorance about some things. One of the reasons why I don't like radio, sincerely speaking, I don't like radio because I listen to radio, and most times when I listen to presenters, most of these people, because just like you have nurse that would go and learn nursing,
or a lawyer,
without going to school.
Absolutely.
So you have presenters who will follow a popular presenter, and because of following them, they feel they are now mature and they can become a presenter.
So my Yoruba presenters, my goodness, let's call it spade a spade. Because I mean, with Yoruba presenters, I find that it's usually there where we find, because someone can speak Yoruba well, so people put them on air, and then they get because we're in Ibadan as well, they get a loyal fan base, and then they become, so the ethics of journalism sometimes, yes. Because I was doing a training recently, and I was talking about how broadcasting was an event for Asido Foundation where they're talking about mental health and suicide, and how sometimes you go on radio and people are talking about rape or suicide in a way as if they are glamorizing it. Yes, and I'm like, this is disgusting, So, but it's only in the media where people can just come. You can't go to court without having gone to law school where they'll teach you how to address a judge.
Exactly.
You cannot be a doctor without them teaching how to address a patient. But in media, people can go on air.
Anybody can go
and that's why training is so important. And that's why one thing I'll give Splash as well, because I did BBC training. Too much. I did so much BBC training. I did at Splash. That's one thing. I don't know if they still do sharp, but I don't know. But whilst I was there and whilst I was growing, and that's one of the things that really helped me in my career. We did trainings. We even did with each other as well. We used to do clinics. How many stations still have clinics? Where every Friday you sit down. Then, oh my goodness, clinic was hot. I remember Edmond, everybody at top there, but on Friday, everybody, your colleagues, and everybody would have listened to everybody else over the week. They will come and tell you, you said this on Wednesday. Then it was,
that's
even though it was tough, but it made us all better. Everybody that you see at the top now, people there don't see, everybody, they don't send you, everybody would have written that we're listening to each other to ensure that you don't say anything they're not supposed to. And on Friday, that Friday morning like this, 11 a.m., everybody will sit down in the staff meeting, and everybody will be criticizing everybody else. They'll be arguing and debating. It was amazing. And that's one of the things I'll say is instrumental to where I am today. And that's what I'm trying to give to my staff at Dominion. A lot of people that have come to train, Edmond has come, are people that I've made friends with over the years in my career. For me, I believe in training and retraining. And, I'm constantly training my staff to ensure that, when we go on radio, you have to have that excellence. Because I embody excellence. In anything I do, I like to embody excellence. And so I'm always ensuring that my staff do. But most radio stations, you may say they don't post it, but trust me, if they do, they will post it. If you train your staff, you will post it. Because it's,
so they don't.
They don't. If you do, you will post it.
Okay.
They'll not even encourage
to another.
Want to go outside.
And you must train. Because after a while, you start to, there's no way, after a while, as you rise in your career, you start to feel stale. And you need that training, outside, within, and without, to just help you realize that you can now see yourself and see that, I've already started slacking. Because there's no way you've been doing something for a long time. After a while, it becomes routine. And you just go on there, hi everybody, welcome, and you just do. But once you go for training, you see other broadcasters, you see other presenters, you now see that, I used to come back and get so challenged. And that's, I think that would be, when people say, you were on radio first, I was doing the morning show for 10 years. That's a long time, so, but what used to ginger me was going out, going to see other people. That will also now make me see that, my father's farm is not the biggest. Then you come and ginger me to now, come and do better. And that's the secret to my longevity. I'm always watching other people, looking at what other people are doing, listening to even people. I listen to a lot of stations, even till now when I'm driving in the car, I'm constantly tuning, listening. I'm thinking, wow, this person talk like this, wow, that person. But then even from that person that I feel didn't do so well, I've learned something not to do. So we always learn. You have learned what not to do. You don't always learn what to do, but sometimes you learn what not to do, and it really has helped me.
Do you think it's the responsibility of the radio owners in training the staff, or it is the responsibility of the OAP to go for more training? Because a lot of people think, a lot of OAP think is the responsibility of the station.
Yes.
Definitely, because station, I feel, wait, don't let me answer it for you. So do you think it's the responsibility of the radio owners or the OAP?
If I were just an OAP, I'll say it's the responsibility of the radio owner. And as radio owner, I'll say the responsibility of the OAP. But because I've been in managerial and I've been an OAP, I know it's both. Because why would I want someone to work with me who has not gone for training? If they even refuse to, I must, because I'm the one that wants my radio station to succeed, right? So you must also, if like they say, if you don't train your staff, you are really doing yourself a disservice as a radio owner. And even as an OAP, you haven't trained yourself. Your boss, your organization hasn't trained you, and you're sitting there. They will sack you like the way they will throw you out. But at least, see, that's the thing why that's why I had the confidence to leave Splash, because I knew that I would not be at home for training yourself and you're waiting for your boss or your organization to train you. The day they will sack you, nobody else is going to want you because you haven't elevated yourself. And as a media owner, how are you working with people who are not going on training? I don't understand. And you expect them to deliver. I don't understand that.
That is why they overrate talents above learning. So they think once you have the talent is just going to be there. You don't have to train yourself. That's the comparison between Ronaldo and Messi. So you feel like this one is talented. You don't have to do training. Messi don't go to training. He doesn't go to training. All he does is just come on the pitch, play and go. But Ronaldo will be there training 2-4-7, doing all of that because he knows that he has to work hard to deliver.
But that's the thing, so is what they say about how, consistency like this, keep going like this, is still better than I come like this, I shine. I come like this, I shine. But the person who is constantly training, and just putting one foot in front of the other will always beat the person who just comes and just say, I have natural talent, so I'll just come and shine today. I'll go back, I'll come and shine. But the person who's constantly training will have longevity. We're looking at long term now. So we're not just looking at someone who's like a one-hit wonder or a flash in the pan. You want to be a broadcaster for a long time to come, then you can't just depend on your talent alone. And it's like a blind spot. You will not always see the whole of you. It's somebody else who can train you that can now say, this way you can do this better. You can do that better. But if you're so arrogant and you feel, no, I know it all, you will always have blind spots. And so it's training that can help you to see all those things that you can do. Even if you are great, you can always be better. That's what I think.
So I have 2 more questions and I'm done. So now my first question is this. What's your advice to radio owners? Aspiring radio owners in Ibadan. What's your advice to them? And then OAPs, young and upcoming OAPs in Ibadan.
Right.
What's your advice to them?
Radio owner, you still want to go and collect that license.
They will.
Let me tell you why you should collect that license and why you should not collect that license. Don't collect that license because we have like over 60 radio stations already in Ibadan alone. So maybe if you want to take a license, and the thing is because I know it, everybody just wants to be greedy. Everybody wants all the agency adverts. But to be honest, we don't have enough radio stations. But it's because people want to be greedy. Because if you go to America, for example, they have radio stations and like local radio stations, and they are all fine because they are more community based than trying to just reach the whole of America. But everybody here wants to reach you. That's why we are also going on Facebook because we want to reach more than even we want the adverts, However, if we all think more, okay, let's build a community here. And this community, for example, the business owners here are, advertising with this radio station because they know this community are people that support this radio station. They will bring their adverts. That adverts that they're bringing in will be enough to sustain. You don't have OAPs on every hour. And that's why the problem, because you have so many OAPs, everybody wants to have an hourly show. So you have too many OAPs. But in America, for example, most of the time they have belts. Then they focus on their community, they empower the businesses there, they bring their money. But here, everybody, just wants to be something. So agencies are going to do only like 2 or 3 radio stations. The other radio stations are begging those agencies, just give us something. Yes. Do you understand? So for those radio owners, if you're going to join this pool of radio owners, then please know that you're already a billionaire somewhere. And there's another organization that's funding this one. If there's no business funding this one, it's going to be tough. Because number one, even if you're talking about local adverts, businesses, the radio stations have overpowered all the businesses. The local adverts are already, if you go to any business now, they'll say they're already advertising in this station. You're talking about agencies. Agencies are also looking at the top 5, according to the MPS. So agencies are looking at the top 5 and they're looking at stations that have been there for a long time, longevity, because they've had the opportunity or the privilege, the edge that they've been there for a long time, they still kind of sustain that top 5. They're still the top 5. So agencies are still going to those same people, and that's why you see some of those top radio stations. You talk for 5 minutes, advert 30 minutes, talk for 2 minutes. Is that broadcasting?
I was going to ask.
It's wrong, but unfortunately, it is what it is. So while there's the 50 other radio stations that are struggling with no adverts, there's the top who are struggling with airtime. Your presenters cannot talk because there are too many adverts. The agencies don't care that your presenters cannot talk. They gladly ruin your show for you and your content for you just because they know people are listening. But unfortunately, the people are also very
love it like that.
They listen to their Yoruba news and they tune off. They go and listen to this Kogbeko. They go and listen to Kinikon here.
They listen to everything.
So even radio it's ridiculous. It's ridiculous.
So you're saying they should not go for the.
Go for it if you have a business that will, and then that will fund it, and then also go for it after going for a media training yourself, sir. Go understand the business so that you don't come and start telling APs to start marketing, so that you don't come and start thinking in 2 months you'll make money, so that you know that even for a program to be visible, it takes a good 5 months for a program to now start getting popular. Not that you just come on here today, you expect the whole of Ibadan to be listening to you. I don't understand. It doesn't work that way. But if you are a broadcaster, you know that it takes time for even a program itself to become popular. Then you also know that there are things you do beyond just them presenting. Your social media. What are you doing about your social media? What gadgets are you using? What streaming are you? So there's so much this thing beyond. I want to have a radio station. I want to have a TV. It's beyond that, sir. It's beyond that. So it's important to go and do the training. It's important to also have a business that will fund that media house for the next 3 to 5 years until it can now stand on its own. And I feel like if media owners actually give it that patience and have something that funds it, eventually it will strive. It will strive. Just keep doing great content and keep funding. Make sure your OAPs are getting paid. Don't start telling them Ogata. I mean, they're doing their work already. So what do you want them to leave their show to go and start marketing? I don't understand. So and it takes a lot beyond just speaking on air to be a broadcaster. It takes a lot of brainwork that you don't see, that we cannot monetize. But unfortunately, it takes a broadcaster like me who knows that. So when I own my media stations, I know that if someone's doing an hour show, I know they probably dedicated maybe about 4 hours off air to do that 1 hour show. Except they just come and say, hello, why for this? Hello, okay, wow, is that what you want them to do? Fine. They don't need any brain work to do that one. But the ones that are doing good content, where they are doing enriching content, where they are bringing information that's not just on the blog to come and read for your listener, know that they've done some work beyond that.
So what's the advice for the OAP, the aspiring one and the upcoming ones?
Yeah, you're still aspiring to work on radio. You don't need it. And these not podcasters. Are you on radio?
Yeah, I'm not.
Okay, you're still on radio though. But listen, the fence has been broken. Social media has broken that fence that I need to be on radio. Don't just go on radio where they're going to be owing you salary. Start your own podcast. Because if I'm a media owner, by the way, I'm only going to hire people who already have a community, who have built something offline. You want to come and use, which is why a lot of media owners say, I'm giving you a platform. Because you cannot build a community on your social media. You only have 2 followers. But you want to come on my own platform to come and be saying what? Build a community on your social media. Let me know that you are serious about this work. I'm not going to hire people who don't have a social media presence. I'm not saying everybody is going to be social media. But go and be someone on TikTok. Go and be someone. You're passionate about this work. You not wait to get a media job before you do it. You're passionate about something. You not wait for someone to hire and start owing you salary. There are people. There's these 2 ladies. They have a podcast called I Said What I Said. They go out all over the place to do their live shows. Now they have a big community. I will pay those girls anything to just come and have 1 hour on my radio. Because they already have a community. Radio owners now look out for people who know how to build a community, because then they bring that community to your radio station. They're not just going to hire you because you have talent. That's why people like Big Brother Nigeria housemates are now having shows on Lagos TVs. Because look, at the end of the day, radio owners want to make money too. And to be honest, yes, I know we need people who study mass communication, but bottom line, they're spending a lot to fuel the station. They're spending a lot to power the consoles, to pay your salaries. So if somebody who is just finished from Big Brother Nigeria, I'd hate to say it, but you bring me the visibility, sadly, I will hire that person. Yeah, I will hire that person. But yes, I know that. So broadcasters should not just say, I said it, mass com. And after that, exactly, go and build a community, go and work on your social media presence, go and work on your brand, so that when you come into this place, by the time I go and check on you and see, Hey, 250K followers, Omo, please come here. Do you understand? So not beyond. So that's why it's not just about talent and not just about certificate. It's a blend of both, and it's a blend of also personal branding. So that even when you leave the station, people will be fighting to poach you. You built such a good brand, which is, I'm grateful, for that I was able to do. Build a good brand. Don't just go on radio and then after a show you go and sleep. What do you do after a show? Cut some of your clips, put it online, let people know you for this, let people come to yours and listen to your station just because you want to hear your voice, because you do so much work. And that's one of the things that radio owners will not pay for as well. What I do when I get off my show, I'm thinking of how to market my show. So OAPs must do the work before, do the work on air, and do the work after. Don't just get off your show and it's over for the day. The next day, so the content you just did is just gone. Like that. No, you repurpose it, use it until you become a force online, so that your station, before they can even sack yourself. I know a popular, I'm not going to mention his name, plenty times that they tried to fire him or try to let him go. It was like, you let him go, you kill your station, because you have built such a brand, such a force, such a force on air and now off air, that before and now he's the one commanding how much he's going to earn. He's the one commanding, I'm only going to do this hour of time on radio. That's what you want to be as a broadcaster. Don't just go on air and just do fade up and down and go to your house. So it's a lot more work beyond just speaking.
So lastly, coming from my own side, I'll be coming from this side of being a female broadcaster.
Ooh, yeah.
And like you said, when we wanted to start the conversation, most African parents is being a broadcaster, especially the female, like even not even the parents alone, even people around you, like
yes,
so many things like that. But now I am happy. Ronke Giwa is not just Ronke Giwa; she's Ronke Giwa Onofua.
Yeah,
you are married with kids. Thank God. How are you managing being a general manager of a station, managing being a wife, managing being a mother together? There are so many female broadcasters out there, sadly, that they don't have the ability to manage those together. It's not easy, except you just want to, So how has it been?
Right. And you know what, Ramat? Oftentimes when I watch, interviews of maybe top women, and they ask I'm always like, what they ask men that? But to be honest, we're in Africa, and oftentimes, women do have to juggle a lot more balls, than men. So I used to say, why are they asking? But I think that question is valid. And even now, when they ask, I want to listen, because I want to know, okay, how do you do? Because trust me, oftentimes I obviously that men, when they want to travel, my husband is going to travel now. He's going to say, okay, I'm traveling on this, yes, there's a lot he does. But me, there's a lot. Where is the spoon? Where is the plate? Where is the food? Exactly. So, and I know there are some men who are super hands-on like that, but they are not as much as women. So oftentimes that role sort of, lies on the lap of the women. So I know that question is valid. But I've heard a lot of women say it, and I'm also saying, because when people ask me that question, I say my support system. Like yesterday, our day for the when we went for a courtesy visit with the Ibadan designate Obarashidi Ladoja, and we're there to, because I find that when I'm in a meeting, because now in my management in Dominion, I'm the only female, so I find that at a certain time I'm the only one. The nanny is calling, housekeeper is calling, what are we eating? Then I'm thinking, how am I going to pick up my child? But I find that all the men there, they're just so what you have to ask, who's picking your children? Because now they even see the school runs and stuff like that. So I'm like, do you guys not have family? Nobody has called you people since then. I've asked that call like 20 times in this meeting, managerial meeting. So men do have it, because obviously most of the time it's the women that handle those parts. So oftentimes I handle that, but I'm still doing my role. But my support system, I have a housekeeper, I have someone that does this, I have someone that picks up my children if I'm not. And so women, unfortunately, to be honest, because gone are the days where we are trying to be strong and trying to juggle all the balls. There's no award for that. So I would say my support system, so I have people who cook. I don't even enjoy it, to be honest. So don't crucify me, but I don't enjoy it and I don't cook. So I have someone who does that. I have someone, if I'm going to run late, for example, I know someone who I'm going to call, okay, go and pick up my housekeeper, because I don't allow my train to be alone with any driver. go and pick up my housekeeper, go and pick up my kids, you know, and then also my husband is my biggest support system. You know, please, women, if you want to go high like this, please marry your friend. And marry someone who's not so traditional that they feel, you know, because if you're a career person, show it as a single person. Let the man know, because the problem is African women pretend before African girls pretend, then when they marry, they now have all of a sudden. But yes, you have a right to change your mind as well. Maybe when you want to marry, you want to be a housewife. You now marry, you realize you want to be the general manager of. Please marry someone who's open to you being able to evolve, you be able to change. Don't marry someone who's no, you can't do that, or I can't do that. That's no. My husband will take the children to the salon. My husband will go and pick up the kids and drop them off. My husband will do anything. He just cannot do is cook. But the children will eat. You give them guy, you give them something at least. Exactly. But then that's why I had to also delegate that to somebody else. Yes. But my husband will keep the children alive. You know. So don't mind. So women who want to go up in their career, while you are single, I beg you, let that man know that I'm not letting him get you. I know someone who didn't marry me because he thought I was not going to be submissive. You know, but hey,
I was going to because you actually you look like somebody who
I look like
I am not be under any man. Let me be honest with you.
Wow.
Looking at you from afar, wow. I kind of have this kind of mindset about she's going to be stubborn. She's not going to submit to any man. that was my idea about you. Looking at you from afar, a lot of people will have that.
But why? Not because of how I'm an advocate for women. And it's not that women are supposed to be, not say anything. And even when they are, because I've done recruitment for over the years. The ladies will come and negotiate so low. The men that can't even do the job as good as them will be negotiating high. I know in this my dominion, there are people who have to come back and say, "Oh, Benny, girl, babe, you deserve more than this. Negotiate higher." And I have to put, I'm not saying God, and some of the guys who are not even as good as the ladies. Well, you want to earn 250K. Yes, exactly. They think, okay, kill yourself for worship, and then that, So for me, I'm an advocate for women. I am a proud feminist, but maybe because of the way people have seen feminists, men hating. I'm not a man hating. I love my husband. Before I do anything, I will let my husband know because he's my greatest partner. Because also, I don't know when people say the submission, not because of people's idea of submission. Submission, I don't. People's idea of submission is, you can't go anywhere, you can't just say sit down. No, and that's why I say marry somebody who is your friend. Because you not just say sit down when you know you are going to do something important. So it's people that mind their enemies that making submission look like it's hard. Submission is easy to a man who is a king, who loves you, who wants you to be the best. I remember this GMO, my husband was like, no, you can do it. My husband thinks I can do anything. My husband sometimes says something I'm like, please, don't stop projecting. I want to fly. I want to be taken care, so please, ladies, especially when you are not married, please. I'm telling you that it's better to be single than be married to a man who doesn't want to see your progress. I'm telling you. I know marriage looks like it's older, but marriage is work. I remember when my husband was chasing me, and because I married a bit, you can say late, in my 30s. I remember my auntie who introduced us, was like, auntie, I beg you. It's work, I'm going to go and do work, because marriage is work. I beg you. Marriage is work. If you're not going to put in the work, please don't marry. If marriage put in the 100, not 50 work or 50%. 100% work, because sometimes someone can only do 30%. You keep doing 100, so at least you have 130. You have 30% in the bank. Next time when you're able to do 50%, you do 50%. That 30% in the bank you're putting, because marriage needs 100%. But it is not that you always have 100%. So I always say, for example, you keep doing your 100% even when he's not doing, when his head is low, because if you're a wise man, one day you're going to do 150%, you cannot do up to. But they always have enough in the bank, so that it's not like you are doing 30%. I'm always doing 100%. I'm always doing 100%, and you're doing that. That's when the marriage will go sour. Because if it's like when you are in a partnership and somebody is not doing enough, but one person is doing all the work. After I will sue the person that's doing all the work. But when you do all the work, that person is also trying to outdo you. And that's what for me, my life is. My husband is someone who's always trying to outdo. Okay, we're always trying to outdo each other. And whenever I need something, how can I help you? So please marry your friend, because that's the greatest support. If you have all the mates in the world and your husband doesn't want you to thrive or prosper, you'll be frustrated. Your safe haven should be your home. So you can be rich, and if your husband is someone who is constantly telling you you're ugly, no, don't go for that meeting, and you're always giving excuses at work. You can have all the nannies, you can be rich, but you will still be frustrated. So the most important thing is marry someone who will be your biggest support system. You can fly high. So I can feel, for example, now I'm going on holiday. My husband is, well, that's happening, and he's already taking leave from his work, and he's going to be the one to stay home with the kids.
Wow.
Do you understand? But yes, he's not going to cook, but I already have arranged. So also delegate. So your wife doesn't like to cook. It's okay. You get a chef if you can afford it. Get a washing machine. Life is not about who can wash with hands anymore. Please. Life is, so I mean, look like a feminist, but my husband, I will do anything for him that I can. But he's also someone that can do anything.
All these feminists outside, listen, we need to listen to you. I don't think they really understand the genuine meaning of
because oftentimes our men are also trying to make it seem as if, you know, when they say a man is the head of the woman. No, my husband is my own head. That's what I believe. But when I'm in my office, men too wants to do because I'm a man. My husband is my head. That's what I believe. It's my head, because there always have to be someone steering the ship. But what we also miss is that someone is steering the vessel. Co-pilot. One pilot is not always flying the plane all the time. My husband also knows that if he's away for 1 month, the house will not suffer. You know that when you come home, the bulb is broken. No, I will get someone to fix it. My husband knows when he gets home, if he's not around, if gas is finished, I will go and buy that gas. That's why we need to empower the women. Not that way, gas is finished, you can't buy gas. You want my husband to come home. When you're coming home. My husband knows that when gas finished, I will not go buy it. I can fix it as well. My husband knows that if I don't find a mechanic, I can at least open my hood and find out, okay, what could be the problem? Yes, before I now call my mechanic and say, oh, Mr. Kiniko, you need to. But some women are just, so they're just there. So your husband can, so that's why there's a co-pilot. Because when a pilot fails, another pilot can actually fly that passengers in their own home. You must be a co-pilot. So because your husband will not always be at his 100%. That's why when people say, oh, why is saying people not be housewives? You can be housewives, but if your co-pilot loses his job, what's going to happen? You must be able to fly that plane as well. So you must be as equipped as your man. But yes, there's always one lead pilot at a time. Definitely. But know that one time that lead pilot might need help, and the co-pilot will be able to step in. And that's why as women, marriage must be partnership. Not when men have this toxic masculinity, I must lead all the time. The day you need her help, because she's so used to being led and cannot be a leader in her own right, she will fail the family because she doesn't know what it means to change gas. Doesn't know how to even buy the basic things in the house, because you've done this all. I must provide everything. I must not. You must not. And then your co-pilot is ill-equipped for when things need her attention, and you cannot function as the lead pilot. That's how marriage should be. It should not be passenger. Then one pilot flies the plane all the time. You get tired. Men too, your mental health matter. So it's important to equip your woman, empower her. When you're not home for a week, it should not be that she's useless. It should not be that you can't change bulb, or at least call somebody, okay, come and change this bulb. Come and, so you must wait for the bulbman to, all of you be in darkness. You cannot, come on. You wait for everyone to come back before you guys will, no, I can't. My husband knows, he leaves that house. The house is under good control. My children will be fine. School fees can be at least to an extent, can be paid. Something they can go to school, not that. So women, you are co-pilots. You are not passengers in your own, in your own plane. And husbands must also see their wives too. Yes, there must always be a lead, because obviously if you are leading at the same time, there's confusion. So that's how it is in my home. My husband is the lead pilot, but my husband knows I'm a good co-pilot. And if he's down, I can always step in and fly that plane.
I love that.
Thank you
so much. Thank you so much once again. Thank you so much once again.
This
is Daring Courts in Ibadan, and we have Ronke Giwa in our studio of Daring Courts, and we would really love you to give us a shout out. Give Daring Courts a shout out, because they are really doing well for the Facts and Opinions podcast.
Thank you.
We are not that dear.
We are getting there.
Daring Courts is really supporting this dream of bringing the Facts and Opinions podcast alive every time and any day that we need to shoot.
Yeah.
Okay, please.
I remember I actually used to look at this place and say, I want to live here. Yes, I never came to this place and I was like,
but this is WAG tag.
Yes. Oh yes. This is what's
WAG tags.
Oh, WAG tag. Okay, yeah. So I love it. So thank you very much, Derek, for empowering, amazing podcasters to be able to, do this here, and I love it here. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much.
Welcome. Thank you so much for being on the show, and we hope you really enjoyed this particular episode.
Don't worry, they will enjoy it.
Being a GM, to being a wife, and to being a mother.
Particularly the advice, please, OAP, take your advice. Radio owners, aspiring radio owners,
Take your advice.
listen to Mama. Mama don't talk. Listen.
Wives, mothers,
Feminists in Ibadan and all over the world. Okay.
From the first second till the last second of this episode. Do not forget to follow us on all social media platforms, on IG, on X, on Facebook, on TikTok, and subscribe to our YouTube channel. That is the most important thing. Subscribe to our YouTube channel, because on all our social media platforms, you know how we do it. They are just snippets of the whole video. But for you to enjoy the full video, you need to subscribe to our YouTube channel and get everything that you need on the Facts and Opinions podcast. We will be drawing the curtain for today again. And behind the MIC, behind the camera, moving up and down, is our own brother. Has he signed Amos Studios?
Yeah. Okay. I think he has started.
So please do well to follow him on Amos Studios on IG. We would really love to see you all following up. Thank you so much, and I still remain your favorite radio girl, favorite. Okay, I'm still coming to TV now.
Yeah.
You're on TV already.
Yes.
Ramat Kajola Olanrewaju, and my co-host.
Before I mention my name, a quick shout out to our fans on TikTok. TikTok is an amazing place for us.
Yeah.
Most times when I go on our page on TikTok, I just laugh at the comments.
I see a lot of people, they turn that comment section, they turn it to argument, they turn it to some. I just laugh, I just be like, we just screenshot, post it on my status on WhatsApp. I really love you guys. And also our Facebook is back.
And our Instagram family members.
Yeah, and all these social media platforms are very, very engaging, and we love you guys. We appreciate your support, your love, and we will keep giving you the best. And I promise you, we will not stop giving you the best. Yes. God bless you. My name is Oluwa Victor.
Peace out.